Thank you. And we will now move back into open session. And there are the any matters to add to the open session agenda this evening? If not, may I have a mover and a seconder for approval of the March 30th agenda as circulated? Moved by Reeve Liverance and seconded by Councillor Fellner. All in favor? Opposed, if any? That matter is carried. Thank you. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest this evening? Hearing none, we'll move on to item 1.5, which is the approval of the minutes. May I have a mover and a seconder for approval of the December 8th minutes? Moved by Mayor Robinson, seconded by Mayor McGarvey, that the minutes of the December 8th, 2021 West Parry Sound Recreation and Culture Center Board are hereby approved as circulated. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed, if any? That motion is carried. Thank you very much. Item in terms of business, item 2.1 is the chair's report, and I have a brief verbal report. Since last we met, I've had the pleasure and privilege to conclude my original mandate by ostensibly conducting two tasks. One was executing the transfer payment agreement with the Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program, along with the Vice Chair. That was signed and duly concluded. And secondly, to provide an update on the Recreation and Culture Center by presenting to Shawniga Chief and Council via Zoom to their meeting of Wednesday, the 2nd of March. I believe that the presentation was well received, and Councillor Judge is here to, she could attest to that or not, but it certainly included candid and respectful dialogue. Shawniga Chief and Council expressed their support in principle and optimism for improving the health of all community members. And in both of my presentations to our First Nation partners, it's important to note that questions were raised with respect to how we define culture, specifically Indigenous culture, and also the potential messaging that may be associated with the allocation of non-voting membership rights to our Indigenous partners. No, I just pause there for a second to ask if there's anything that Councillor Judge or Pradoniquat King would like to add to my observations. If so, if you would be kind enough to take your, I see that Councillor Judge is there. Thank you. Welcome.
Good evening, Miigwech. Thank you. Just trying to sit and observe. Miigwech for, again, the invite, and I look forward to the updates and contributing to this great effort that's been for a long time coming. So how we continue to work together in the best way possible. Miigwech, thanks.
Thank you. And Councillor Pradoniquat King, is there anything you'd like to share with us?
No, not currently. I'm just sitting and observing as well.
Is that an accurate reflection of our time together?
There we go.
Thank you. So this concludes my verbal report, and I appreciate the opportunity to comment. And then item 2.2 is matters from our closed meeting. As previously noted, prior to the open meeting, the board met in closed session, and two items are now brought forward for board consideration. Those being the YMCA Memorandum of Understanding, and I would ask for a mover and a seconder for a resolution regarding authorization to sign MOU for the YMCA. With the YMCA, and then it is Reeve Liverance and Mayor McGarvey. The Chair and Vice Chair are hereby authorized to sign the Memorandum of Understanding MOU between the Municipal Services Board and the YMCA of Simcoe Muskoka, substantially in the form attached. And are there any comments or questions? I actually have in my notes here that perhaps the chair or steering committee of the steering committee could provide a brief highlights for members of the public. So I would call on Mr. Harris again, if I may, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The purpose of the MOU with the YMCA is to it's a step closer to entering into an operating agreement with the YMCA. They are the preferred operator for the new facility. The MOU sets out the principles under which the operating agreement will be developed. And with the development and approval of an operating agreement, the next step is the transfer of the land. The YMCA has indicated their willingness to donate the land to the board for the operation, the construction and operation of the facility. So the significance of this is one step closer to entering into that operating agreement and having the land transferred to the board.
Thank you, Mr. Harris.
Sir, and those two, the timeline is to have that all completed by July 30th.
Thank you. Any questions or concerns from members? Now I'll call a question. Yes, Mayor Robinson.
I think I'll just add as an opinion. I think the Y is the right choice in terms of the property, and a lot of work in the study has been done, but I'm very grateful to the Y for their getting to the decision to be community minded in Parry Sound and donating the land, which is, I mean, a large sum of money is involved here, and everything we can do to keep our costs under control is important to keep this a well-designed and well-functioning facility. So I just like to extend our thanks to the Y for getting us to this stage, and the work of our CAO group for working with the Y to get us to this stage as well.
Thank you, Mayor Robinson. Any other comments? We'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed, if any? And that item is carried. Item 2.2.2 is the fundraising and sponsorship team applicants. And may I have, please, a mover and seconder for a resolution regarding appointments to the fundraising and sponsorship team? Moved by Mayor Reeve-Liverin, seconded by Councillor Gilbert. And I will just bear with me for 1 second, please. And the resolution is that the following are appointed to the fundraising and sponsorship team for a 2-year term ending March 31st, 2024. Their names being Becky Heitman, Charlene Perro, Libby Walker, Linda West, Ann McDermott, Richard Culverwell, Harry Hassel, Jessica Jones, Tom Lundy, Sarah Mahan, and Becky Pollock. Is there any discussion? I'll call the vote. All in favor? Opposed, if any? And that item is carried. Thank you. The next item on our agenda, item 2.3, is the second cash flow request from funding partners. We have a mover and a seconder by resolution regarding a second cash flow request from funding partners. Moved by Councillor Fellner, seconded by Councillor Gilbert. That the board send a request to the funding partners to submit 20% of the total financial commitment to the project by May 30th, 2022, and that the steering committee be directed to investigate if the Municipal Services Board may borrow funds directly for the purposes of construction financing. And Mr. Harris is available to take us through the request. Mr. Harris, over to you, please.
Mr. Chairman, I think it's pretty straightforward. I'll answer any questions that there may be.
Any questions for Mr. Harris? Ready for the question? All in favor? Opposed, if any? And that matter is carried. Thank you very much. Item 2.4 deals with nominations and appointments of chair and vice chair. You may recall at a previous meeting of the board, it was approved that appointment of chair and vice chair would be reviewed at year end. And I would draw your attention to the options as laid out in the board agreement regarding chair and vice chair at section 1, item G, and on page 3, they include that the chair and vice chair of the board may be elected for up to 2 years from amongst the members. Voting for the positions of chair and vice chair of the board will take place at the final meeting of the applicable calendar year, with the chair and vice chair taking office effective January 1st of the following applicable year. Or alternatively, the board may choose to elect a resident of one of the municipalities or First Nations as a non-political, non-voting chair and or vice chair who is not a member of any council. The term of this chair and or vice chair may vary in length as determined by the board from time to time and may extend across electoral terms of municipal councils in an effort to provide continuity. Yes, Liverance.
I would like to nominate Donald Sanderson to continue as the chair.
Thank you, Mayor McGarvey.
I'd like to second that nomination.
Thank you. Mayor McGarvey, are there any other nominations for the position of chair? Are there any other nominations for the position of chair? And one final time, are there any other nominations for the position of chair?
I'd like to, Mr. Chair, I'd like to nominate Mayor Robinson for chair.
Thank you, Councillor Fellner. May I have a seconder to that nomination? May I have a seconder to Councillor Fellner's nomination? And one more time, may I have a seconder to Councillor Fellner's nomination?
Actually, Chair, if I may, I'd like to decline the nomination.
Thank you, Mayor Robinson. And so I would just I'd like to share that it would be my privilege to continue to support the Municipal Services Board. This is something that I'm certainly passionate about and will work as hard as I can in an objective manner to make sure that together we working with the elected member, voting members of the board, as well as the members of our steering committee to make this vision, continue to make this vision a reality. And it would be an honor to do so. So just to clarify my position, and we're ready for the vote. We'll deal with them separately if with your permission. So may all in favor of appointing Donald Sanderson as the chair, opposed if any, and that motion is carried. Thank you. And the next item is that the appointment of a vice chair. Again, the term is effective April 1st, 2022 and ending November 14th, 2022. It aligns with the term of the 2018-2022 Municipal Council per the Municipal Elections Act. And may I have nominations for vice chair? Yes, Liverance.
I would like to nominate Mayor Jamie McGarvey for vice chair.
Thank you. May I have a seconder for that nomination? Thank you, Mayor Robinson. Mayor McGarvey, do you consent to allow your name to stand?
Yes, I do consent. Yep. Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay.
And may I have, are there any other nominations for the position of vice chair? Any other nominations for the position of vice chair? And once more, any nominations for the position of vice chair? And then I will call the question. All in favor? Opposed, if any? And that motion is carried. Thank you very much and congratulations, Mayor McGarvey. Thank you for agreeing to serve.
Congratulations to you and thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
And this concludes the business of the Recreation and Culture Center Board meeting for the 30th of March, 2022. I thank you for joining us this evening, for your active engagement and participation, and certainly for the hard work of the steering committee behind the scenes. And Mayor Robinson has his hand up.
Just wanted to make comment for the members of the public. I get a lot of questions from people that are aware that the 7 municipalities are working together. And we are working together. They're aware that the funding has been granted to us. But a lot of people think that logically within 2 months, the pool building should be under construction and on its way up, whatever, which is hopeful. And we'd all would love to see that. But I think just for the benefit of the members of the public, there's a lot of steps that we have to take as a committee to do our due diligence on behalf of your taxpayers' money in this process and to make sure that we get it right. So I just wanted to reassure the public that this is moving forward, and with a lot of work being done in the background by a lot of people, which is very much appreciated. I'm not sure if there's any better way we can convey what we're doing. Like, these are open and public meetings and we're making it public, but not everyone has the time to watch these live or to even watch them afterwards. So I guess I'll put that back to the steering committee. If there's any opportunities to get our progress out to the community, then I think we should take full advantage of that. But I just would like to, for anyone who is taking the time to watch, reassure them that this project is moving forward and there is a lot of work being done before we put shovels in the ground.
Mayor Robinson. With those wise words, I will adjourn our meeting for this evening. Thank you very much for joining us. Stay safe, stay vigilant. Please continue to wear your mask. We're adjourned.
Night, everybody. Thank you.
Right.
Right now.